Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting week of X's in the U. This is actually episode number 48. Again, I'm Matt Gandazzik, former president of Sons of Ben. I'm joined by ex-head capo Adam Booth, and of course, forever Union legend Sebastian Latou. Guys, what a week! Adam, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired. Love my child. He's great, but the union have been helping me get through these sleepless nights a little bit better, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, Seba, how about yourself? How was this week?
As we was great. I think a great win, like Adam said, like those 4 goals felt good, to propulse you into a beautiful week, and it has been the case. So exciting for the match this weekend in Cincinnati, and hopefully another great result.
Yeah, and like we said, Seba just did Union Insider, so he's got some tips for us about what's going to happen with Cincinnati. And of course, you are going out to Cincinnati covering it. So I know you're dialed in, and we'll get into that after we discuss the happiness that happened in Chester, which was Chicago 4-0. Statement win and a little luck. Miami tied, Columbus lost, Cincinnati was shut out, San Diego was held scoreless against Portland. So that means we're back on top of the Supporter Shield race. So, guys, Seba, why don't you tell us about this game? I mean, 4 goals, 4 different players. I mean, unbelievable. What were your thoughts on the Chicago? And can we play Chicago every week?
Yeah, I think it was a very, very good full team performance. Like you say, 4 goals from 4 different players. I think offensively we're really dialed in, and defensively I think we really shut down Chicago offense, who is one of the best, in the league. Andrew Wick with a clean sheet, which I think is very good for his confidence, knowing that Dre right now is, having a little injury and not sure when he will be back. So I think, yeah, beside maybe I will say in a game like the post in the second half, then Chicago got, to maybe get back at 1-1. I think we were really in control of that game. I think like having, especially like Wagner, having a great game, Westfield on the right side, are really helping offensively. The team with going up and down. It's really like the best of the Union offensively. We can really create a lot of things, and I feel like too with Ilowski coming in the team, I was like I already said a few times, but I'm a big fan of how he played. Like his decision making, his goal was amazing. You can see the quality of the player. So it's been now couple of games he has been with the team, and you can see he's kind of like getting into the system and the way to play when he plays as a number 10 or if he plays as a forward. But I think it's a great addition to the team. So no, overall, great reaction after a tough loss in a Red Bulls. We were kind of like hoping to see a game like that, and they deliver. So now full confidence for this weekend against Cincinnati, who, like you say, just lost. Every result went our way last weekend. So let's try to make a good result in Cincy, because it could be a big turnaround for the race of first, the first place in the East, and of course, the Shield. But I think right now the focus is just to get a positive result. So maybe we can this weekend be officially in the playoff.
Of course, mentioned Ty got a goal. He's at 16 goals now, so he's third in the Golden Boot race. Milan, I mean, it looks like he found his role with the team, and he has 2 goals in 3 appearances. I think with that, is that 11 or 12 for him now in MLS, counting his San Diego? So I mean, he's looking like he's fitting in. Adam, what your thoughts on this 4-0 just beautiful win?
Look, this is what we looked for, frankly. Um, it was one of these things where the Union definitely looked dominant in a lot of these games, but the last, like putting the game away was just a difficulty that they were suffering through for the better part of this season. And I think putting together a 4-0 quality match against a team that's actually pretty solid. Chicago will be in the conversation for some of those last playoff spots when the time comes. So to do that against a team like that, I think was a really good boost to the morale. It was a dominating performance. You got Andrew Rick in there, and it wasn't just the fact that he was in there. He was making saves. He made a couple of good wow moments. And at this point, you really shouldn't be shocked by what anything he does, other than the fact of his age, because he has enough MLS minutes for me to declare him a quality goalie, at least for this league standard. And I feel confident with him between the sticks. This has nothing to do with how good I believe Andre Blake is, because I believe if Andre Blake is in the net, the Union have a better chance to win than lose 99% of the time. But the kid has come in, he's done great. To see four different goal scorers, including Kai Wagner, who does a lot of setting up for goals, for him to get himself a tally as well. It was a refreshing result. It really, I think, at least washed away some of the feelings and some of the grime over the last couple of weeks in terms of the results that have been gritty, to say the least. So I think, having a team that is at the top, occasionally you would like to see them exert and flex that dominance. And they did, and it shows a lot of potential. And you want this team to get hot right now. You want this to be, if Andre has to be out, let's score 6 goals a game again. Let's play at high intensity levels offensively, and let's make sure that everyone kind of sees the ball go into the net, because you're going to need that come playoff time. I think more times than not, it's not just the starters, it's guys coming off the bench making contributions to win you matches. So the Union flexing their depth and their ability to play on both sides of the ball was really nice to see, and good to see Jack Elliott too.
Yeah, it was okay to see him, but anyhow, but Seba, I want to ask you, can you walk us through that set piece that Kai had? I mean, maybe do a little play-by-play on that. That's something I think Kai said they practiced a few times, but I guess they shelved it. But you want to just go into how guys on the field will talk about that and try to incorporate something in that? 'Cause that's a pretty cute little set piece.
Yeah, I think, in that moment, especially like for the three of them who were on the ball, it was Ilorski, Wagner, and Sullivan. It's kind of a free kick that anybody can hit. It's right in the middle. There's a lot of options. At the end of the day, what I like, it's, they kind of came up with who is going to take it. It was not, a fight or anything. And you can see what's healthy about this team. It's they know their roles, they know what to do, and they figured out that, yeah, it could have probably be better for Kai, who probably has a great left foot, and he got really well played at the perfect timing. And at the end, I have to say the wall of Chicago really fell apart. They didn't really stay together, and we find like a little hole, and it was a great strike by Kai. But what I feel like about this free kick was more about the discussion before. It was nobody like, hey, I'm taking it, you taking it. I've been in those few times, and there's always one or two players. No, I'm feeling good about it, and there's kind of a little fight at the end. On this one, I don't think it was anything. We knew who was going to take it, between the three of them, and they had a little discussion, and they got, quickly, the decision about what they were going to do, and it was well played, because they scored that goal. So, but big goal, to be up 2-0, because we were kind of waiting for that for a long time, being up 1-0 for a long time and giving up a late goal. This one really felt good. But yeah, what I will say too about the game, and I forgot to take about, it's what really marked me too as watching it. It's how patient we were, in our build-up, especially like the first goal, and something that didn't happen that game. It's losing those balls in the middle of the park, kind of like forcing the issue that we have been doing a little bit the past couple of games when we are getting counter-attack against us. It's something that we didn't do. We didn't try to do the pass, right in the middle where every defense are waiting for. We are really moving the ball, left to right, right to left, and then, go at it. So I really like that as well from the team, not forcing the issue and be comfortable on the ball, especially when they're at home.
Yeah, great point. And we've been saying it all year that they really are playing like a team. So again, great win, great performance from everybody, the coaching staff, and let's hope we carry this into Cincinnati. Little union news. We mentioned it. Blake's out for a couple weeks. I don't know. Does this guy need to start doing some Tai Chi or some yoga, Adam, to get these hamstrings a little bit stronger? It's just it's a constant. There's two constants with Blake. He's great and he's injured. We got some international national team call-ups. Ty, Stanley Jean Jacques, and Nate all got called up to the national teams for the international window, and we had some U17s called up, including Cavan. So congratulations to those guys. Now, Adam, I have a question for you in these notes. I think there's something you wanted to talk about. Can you explain to me pixels?
Okay, so and Seba, if you want to take a nap, it's fine. I understand now. Legitimately, we need to talk about how MLS does not allow deviation with this Adidas contract. Like, I'm not going to be here and sit and talk about the merits of having a league that has a single sponsor for the whole league. As an American sports fan, that's how I grew up, so I'm not really unheard. It's not unheard of, but within that you should allow creativity and difference to exist. There should be something to be said about making jerseys that are unique to the teams, making merchandise and paraphernalia that have geotagged, elements to it. Just make it something that is unique to the club or the location or whatever. Like, I understand Adidas is just printing all of these things out and just putting a new badge on top of it and just saying, hey, look, it's whatever club you root for's new warm-up top. But the reason why Matt said Pixels was this week was the video game esports top, which I believe is coinciding with FC 26's arrival. And it's just so lazy at this point and such an obvious cash grab that you make so many of these warm-up tops. And as opposed to just being like, why don't we get a graphic designer to come in from each one of these clubs and add elements to it that makes it unique to their own city and make it people have more incentive to buy it, they just make the same thing for the entire league. And it's just so lazy and it's just so uninspired and it bothers me because it just reminds you on how corporate all of this is. Like, I don't try to suspend my belief in the Premier League is still in love with the romantic side of football like it used to be. The fact that Everton doesn't play in Goodison Park is one of the greatest examples of that for me right now. Um, but it does speak to me that you could try to not seem as like just a corporate entity as you are when you keep doing this stuff over and over and over again. Like, I worked for the esports department with the union. I could have, and I'm not saying I needed to be, but there's several people who could have been like, hey, we have history in this. We are the most winningest club in esports history. Like, we have our own lounge. We have all of these elements that make it unique to us. That would be something where I can see that selling, but just making the same thing that someone's going to be wearing in Seattle, but with a different badge, it feels so lazy and uninspiring. And it's my little rant, but like I'm just kind of getting tired of it.
So will you be buying one of these September 16th when it drops at the shop?
No, no. And in full disclosure, I got the last one that came out because I really just liked the design of it and I was just
I
like, whatever.
I got
But
it as well. But yeah, same thing. I do hate sometimes you see that kit like, the one we got last week or a couple weeks ago, and you'll see a Red Bull fan wearing it, and you're like, oh, go you. Oh no, that's got a whole different logo to it. It's just yeah, because I enjoy seeing people wearing Philadelphia sports stuffs when I'm traveling, in the airport, because I can give a go Phils, go Union, go Birds, But yeah, that I totally understand the rant. And now we got to make sure Seba's awake. But guys,
No, no, no. I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep. I don't want to say something. I have a story about this, which is funny. A friend of mine bought, the kind of Captain America shirt. You remember
oh
when they did
yeah,
it?
yeah, yep.
And he went to a away game. I forgot where. I think maybe Nashville. And he saw somebody with the same shirt, and he was like, "Oh, great shirt, man! Go Union!" And he saw the Nashville patch on his, which was, the same shirt but different team. and they was like, oh, and he thought it was just for the Union because of course Philadelphia is the city of the Declaration of Independence, and it was like, oh, it's an American flag, but no, it was not. So yeah, he felt disappointed for sure.
You're like,
And
well, why would he not? It's just
yeah.
so it would just be so easy to just not do that, but whatever.
Well, as you were talking about MLS being a corporate shill, Adam, let's just go right into it. Leagues Cup. It was an MLS Final Four. Miami beat Orlando City. Seattle beat the Galaxy. So we're going to have Miami versus Seattle in Seattle this Sunday. If you're absolutely bored and have nothing else to do, you can tune in to see if Messi gets another cup for South Florida. We'll see. The only other league news I have was, dude, Chris Albright pulled a not really a Ernst Tanner, but he made some moves, man. They get Brenner back and Marzuk. How do you say that last name, Adam? Dominic
No, 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 no. That's all you, my friend. Go for it.
Yahweh. But yeah, so Cincinnati just came out firing in the transfer deadline. I mean, they are, and who knows if these guys are going to be ready for this game? Maybe that's the and Seba. We'll go right into it. Do you think Brenner and the guy I can't pronounce his last name, Marzuik? Marzuik? Is that how you say it, Seba?
Breathe it.
I'm not sure. I will have to work on it before the game on Saturday.
Yeah. Do you think those guys are going to show up?
I mean, they might, but I feel like, when you have a team on Cincinnati where you get, two of those guys who are supposed now maybe to become a starter for them, um, does he move a little bit like the chemistry in this group? They just, signed those guys and they lost, at home against New York City FC. So I feel like they are now chasing a little bit and they need to, get some goals and some offense out of them. So it takes, time to get guys back, to like the chemistry of a team who has been doing great for the beginning of the season. So I hope they are not ready. I hope they still need to figure out the system and everything, and hopefully the Union take advantage of that.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it. Away at Cincinnati, Sebit said it, a 1-0 loss to New York City. They've lost 2 of 3 since their Leagues Cup exit. They've taken 10 points from their last 7 MLS games. So not haven't been performing the way Cincinnati we think they are. But they have a 4 game stretch. They're getting us, Nashville, and Orlando. I mean, so they have a similar gauntlet that we're running through as well because we've got Cincinnati and then Vancouver. So, Seba, I mean, you've done some studying already on this. What do you think about the Cincinnati game? What should we look for to hope that the Union get a result in Cincinnati?
I mean, I feel we are going to look for a battle, we're going to look for like some guys, fighting for every ball. Cincy is now in chasing seats. We are like in first, so a win would be fantastic. And I think the loss they had last week to New York City FC shows them that it's possible, but you need to be for sure disciplined defensively. They're going to try to come hard on the Union, but we can beat them. It's definitely a tough stadium, but I think we are, in a great position, being still first, in front of them. Since they need pretty much to make the game, and I really really hope like with a week of preparation, being on a good mental space with like the win against Chicago, we can kind of keep surfing on that and get another positive result. Because if we, let's say, beat Cincinnati, which I think it's possible, you put them, at now 5 points, and then you go to Vancouver, which is another tough game, another tough road. But like you said, Cincinnati play Nashville, and it's big. It's like the number 2 playing number 3. So it could be, some points we can win as well in that, and you can see a big maybe margin after the Vancouver game. So I'm really looking forward, of course, one game at a time against Cincy. It's not going to be easy. They're going to come, at the Union. It feels like almost like a final of the East, maybe. But what I like about the fact that we have 2 tough games away, I said that in a show today, you can really like bring the team together. Being away, you don't play at home in a month, and if you get like the team together, like they've been doing from the beginning, it could be huge, for the rest of the season and the playoff.
Yeah, and I want to just mention one thing that you said about it, and then I'll get into Adam. That stadium is tough, but the toughest thing about that stadium, guys, is trying to go to the bathroom because they have like all these bathrooms, but literally two stalls. Like it's impossible. You wait in line. I've never in a stadium in my life waited longer in line. So that's my rant against Cincinnati. Do better with that nice stadium. Adam, your thoughts on Cincinnati FC?
Look, this is going to start a stretch that is going to be tough for the Union, obviously, especially playing on the road a lot of these matches. Um, but Cincinnati has been playing, I would say, mediocre at best at home recently. Their last win was July 16th at home. They've lost, I believe, 4 matches in a row at TQL Stadium. So it's been tough. It's been tough for Cincinnati as of late, and this is probably why Albright and them have brought up the firepower that is necessary that they're trying to, chase the Union with right now. This game doesn't is a very it's I mean it's monumental, obviously, because either way it does make a giant shift in the standings, but ultimately, if you look at it objectively, if I'm going to sell it to you, I'm going to say this is for the Eastern Conference. If I'm going to be a broadcaster, not Seba, but if I'm going to be a broadcaster on a third party and I'm trying to sell it to a neutral, I'm going to say this is for the East. As a person who's a Union fan, I know ultimately Union win or tie is gangbusters for the Union. The Union loss doesn't sink them. And because really what you said is true about Cincinnati's gauntlet towards the end of the season themselves that they have to go through. And if the Union figure out a way to win this game, then you're 5 points up. And that's going to be tough, especially if they can find a way to get result against Nashville. Then you'll really start to see some separation with them at the top. Um, Frankly, separation that they maybe should have already had, but that's another conversation. But what's real about this is for Cincinnati, this is pretty much a win or this is going to be really difficult to climb the mountain situation for them. So I look at it where this is not Union play with house money. You want to go in there and you want to smash them. You want to do the best you can to win. You want to play like you are the desperate team, but realistically, it's not going to ruin the Union to not get a result here, but it will definitely boost them in a positive direction and go for the supporter shield moving forward. And it's a winnable game. If you look at Cincinnati all this season, they've won a lot of games, but they've never really looked but so dominant in a handful of them. They have a +7 goal differential at this point in the season, where comparison, I believe the Union have a +15. And it's just you don't a team that's that high up, but is still not winning games in decisive margins. It something to at least look at. And I don't know if Cincinnati is quote worrying about that, but their offensive production has not been there. And I think that's something that the Union can definitely take advantage of.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know we've been focused. We're going Cincinnati, then Vancouver, but there's some time in between. They've got like a week's break. So there's time to so we should be all in. I mean, Bradley's got to push all the chips in just to get a good result. And when I say good result, I want 3 points out of Cincinnati. And then again, September 13th is Vancouver, and then Open Cup against Nashville. That's a tighter window. So if you guys just a real brief, let's take a look at Vancouver, and then we can kind of call it a day and get ready for the Cincinnati game. But Seba, what are you thinking about Vancouver? I mean, they're going to be well rested. I think they're going to have 3 week break or something for some reason, and they're 5 points back of the Union, 4 points behind San Diego, but they've got a game in hand. So I mean, this Vancouver game is important for them for the Western Conference and the Shield and playoff standings. And any thoughts on Vancouver and their addition of a
It,
German superstar?
yeah, I mean, it is important, but I'm going to give you a Bradley Carnell answer. I think the only focus right now is Cincy. There's so much time, between those two games. I'm really thinking about Cincinnati, but like Adam said, for me, Cincinnati, it's like a game that, yes, they don't really need to win, and a loss is not, a bad. What I want is them to play, at their full potential, not kind of like waiting, but I would say, like, could we do almost a similar game that we have been doing in Orlando at the beginning of the year? like to be on top of them and relentless, and just fight for every ball. It'll be like a performance like this, like the team I would love to see them do. So yeah, I'm thinking about just Cincy, and I think all the guys are probably just focusing on that now. And we are going to just see what's going to happen in that game. But yeah, if I'm a player like in a locker room, like right now, you just think about that game and try to get 3 points. So then you have like a week to rest, you can enjoy, and then you can really, really focus on Vancouver and long trip. And like you say, after Vancouver is going to be a right away Open Cup because they're going to fly right away from Vancouver to Nashville for the semifinal.
Well, Adam, we got our marching orders. We're not going to even talk about Vancouver. We're just going to focus on Cincinnati, getting 3 points, getting a little revenge on that squad that has stolen everything from an accountant, a coach, a GM. They're still the Ohio Union, let's just face it, but we definitely need to get the win. I think everybody's in agreement that that's what we want, even though, like you guys said, it won't be the end of the world, but I think we want to win. Adam, you have any parting thoughts?
Look, this is going to be the gauntlet right here, and it's going to be tough, and this is why you get the depth that you do. And we can talk about the merits of making it Eelski a number 10 winger at this point. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to be as his, even though he's new as a forward. But this is why you have your depth. This is why you have, you know, the personnel that you have because you're going to need all hands on deck for two different competitions and you have to give 100% in all of them, I would have liked us to have a little bit more of a buffer on the Shield right now so you could focus maybe a little bit more on the Open Cup when that time comes. But, all hands on deck and let's see if we can get to the next couple of matches.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Sullivans both get a goal each, just to put the icing on the cake. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking for. And I am praying right now, dear American Airlines, have the Wi-Fi working. I'm on my way to Brazil during this game and I need to get the connection. So please have the Wi-Fi working. That's all I'm asking for. Seba, you have any final parting words for us?
No, I will be calling the game in Cincinnati, not with Dave because that's the US Open for tennis, so with Redan. But I like him. He was a lucky charm when we went this year to Atlanta and we got the win. So I'm looking for another win with him this weekend.
Oh, you got Ray done with you. Good. That's a
Yep.
that's a Temple Broadcasting pro right there. So well, I will if the Wi-Fi is working, I'm gonna be tuning in 97.5 to get the radio feed and watching it on mute for the Apple TV. So, guys, thanks again for joining. This was episode number 48 of X's in the U. Everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for interacting with us on the socials, and we hope to see you soon at Subaru Park. Adam, Seba, thanks a lot, guys. Go Union.